Hello again and welcome to Lecture 7 in KCB 205 Professional Communication. We are talking about oral communication in this lecture, and we've reached part 3, the third recording, which is on presenting as a team. We already know that a central part of planning your oral presentation is to design a clear message tailored to the specific audience. In a team presentation, when you distribute the message between the speakers, you must make sure they are logically linked together. Besides only bridging between each speaker, you can appoint an anchor who begins and concludes the presentation. These are a few examples of bridging statements. The bridging between speakers can be built on section conclusions between persons or topics. So if I were in a team with Linda and Michael working on a QUT Art Museum as our client, we might want to distribute our content like this. And the start of our presentation could look like something like this. How you physically deliver your oral presentation also hugely impacts your credibility and how professional your presentation will be perceived by the audience. You are therefore encouraged to use the speaking space wisely and think about how you can best engage with your audience in that room. In the assessment 2, you and your team will have the opportunity to rehearse this in the tutorial the week before the presentations start. So let me give you a few practical tips when it comes to presenting as a team. Besides having a plan, you will need to rehearse the presentation in full with all your team members over and over and over again to reach that extemporaneous delivery mode. Also use your visuals wisely. The entire presentation should be consistent and not serve as a script. Be prepared for the unexpected. So, for example, what are you going to do if your USB is broken? Or if one of the presenters is sick? Discuss this as a team and have a plan if it happens. Even think about what you'll wear on the day of presentation. I definitely don't ask you to suit up on the day, but remember that everything communicates. Don't start your presentation until you feel the room is ready for you. And keep the time limit. Neither a too short nor a too long presentation will benefit your presentation or your credibility. And in a real life situation, if you're not done within your given time, you might be kicked out of that boardroom before you delivered your presentation in full. Keep focused on the team member presenting. If you are engaged, so is the audience. In a team presentation, we're looking for an overall unity. This means that you should pay attention to how you link from one speaker to another and how you demonstrate that each speaker fully understands the project as a whole. When you've finished speaking, know where to go, sit, or what to do. Again, everything communicates. In any real-life professional oral presentation, it is important to interact with your audience. And this is equally important in KCB 205. Assessment 2 is a progress briefing, so open up for questions after the presentation is in your team's own best interest, since it will provide you with valuable input. Discuss in your team who will be answering which question, and when you're answering, make sure you understand the question before you start answering, clearly and concisely. If this gives you an opportunity to reinforce a point you think is relevant and important, please do, but keep it short and concise. You can and should, of course, also prepare for any questions by both listing and practicing the answers. When answering a long and complicated question, think about breaking it into parts. Paraphrase for clarification and provide just enough details without repeating the entire talk. And if you don't have the answer, just admit it and promise to get back later. Thank you for taking part of part 3 of this lecture. And remember, the only way to the perfect oral presentation is to practice. There are no shortcuts.